Hello, my name is Mark Alpert, and I am a financial counselor and certified financial planner at New York Legal Assistance Group. New York Legal Assistance Group financial counselors are available to provide one-on-one confidential financial counseling to help you through this difficult period of financial uncertainty. Please contact a social worker or organizer who introduced you to this presentation if you would like to be contacted by a NYLAG financial counselor. Today's presentation is about New York State unemployment insurance and the enhanced benefits provided by the recent stimulus package. Hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers are expected to have their jobs and income negatively affected by the coronavirus as companies reduce hours or lay off employees. So you are not alone, and there is some interim financial relief for those who are eligible for unemployment benefits. New York Legal Assistance Group is a leading nonprofit that provides free civil legal services, financial counseling, and engages in policy advocacy efforts to help people experiencing poverty in the greater New York City area. But a couple disclaimers. First, although NYLAG provides legal services, this is a financial presentation, and it is not intended for either official legal or tax advice. And secondly, the federal, state, and local programs that have been enacted in response to the COVID crisis are in constant change and flux, and some of the policies are difficult to interpret, and they may change significantly from the information provided in this presentation, which is dated April 2nd. So here's a quick agenda of some of the topics that we are going to cover. There will be a resources page at the end of the presentation. And as I said, you can always contact the organizer of this presentation, and they will put you in touch with a NYLAG financial counselor for a one-on-one free financial counseling session. All right, so typically unemployment benefits are determined by the state, and I'll refer to this as the Basic Unemployment Benefit Package. However, the CARE Act, or better known as the Coronavirus Stimulus Plan, was passed a few days ago, and that's a federal program that is separate from the state benefits. New York State will still manage the federal payment program. So let's start with a review of the New York State Basic Unemployment Benefit Program. Currently, New York State has eligibility requirements, including your work history, that determine if you qualify up to the 26 weeks of benefits. The maximum benefit is $504 per week in New York State, but the average is closer to about $250. There generally is a 7-day waiting period to file, but that has been waived due to COVID. Payments should start dated back to the date you were unemployed. But it really only covered people who are employees and received the typical W-2 tax form at the end of the year, and that prevented many individuals, particularly self-employed or contract workers, from qualifying for New York State benefits. But the CARE Act significantly expanded the New York State benefits. These enhanced benefits are called Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, or PUA for short. Again, New York State will still manage the program even though it's a federal program. You will get them automatically if you are already approved for New York State benefits or if you apply for a new application for benefits. Essentially, it adds 13 weeks of basic New York State unemployment benefits to the 26 weeks, so 39 weeks in total. But it also adds another $600 per week for eligible New Yorkers for about 13 weeks. That's within that 39-week total period. And the eligibility is significantly less restrictive. For example, it does include self-employed and contract workers not eligible for the basic benefits. The $600, by the way, is a flat amount. It is the same for everybody. It is not dependent upon your work history and wages. So here are some scenarios in which the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program should provide benefits. There's a lot of information here, but essentially, think of any loss of income that might somehow be related to COVID-19. So obviously, if you or a family member are sick, but if you're caring for someone, or if you're a self-employed or 1099 worker, and even if you quit your job because it was related to COVID-19. None of these were covered by basic New York State unemployment benefits. There are two exceptions. One, if you're receiving sick pay from your employer, or if you continue to work but you're working remotely. Along with the self-employed and independent contracts or gig workers, the PUA also should cover job entrants who are prevented from finding work due to the COVID-19 virus. And also, if you had an agreement to start a job, but you can no longer start that job, you should also receive benefits. And it should cover people who are forced into a part-time work situation, although there could be an impact on your New York State benefits. You should still be eligible for the PUA. So just to quickly reiterate, the $600 PUA is in addition to and separate from your New York State benefits. So even if your New York State benefit is zero, you could receive the $600 per week in PUA. Now, you can go to the New York State Basic Benefits website on the Labor Department page, and there will be a tab where you can estimate what your benefits would be. I've given you some examples here, but as I said, the maximum benefit is about $504 per week. It's generally based upon the highest of your last four quarters of income. Now, to reiterate again, the PUA extends New York basic benefits of 26 weeks to 39 weeks. Moreover, it adds $600 on top of the New York State benefit for up to 13 weeks. So if you were receiving the maximum benefit of $504 from New York State unemployment per week, you would now get $1,104 with the PUA. If you exhaust the PUA payment period, you should still get the basic New York State benefit for the remainder of the 39 weeks. You do not have to reapply if you're already receiving basic New York State unemployment benefits. Your PUA should be automatic. As a side note, all benefits, both the state and the PUA, will be included in taxable income, so you should prepare accordingly. And some benefits may count as income with respect to means-tested public assistance, although we believe that at least Medicaid and the Children's Health Insurance Program will not be affected by the PUA payment. So how do you get the unemployment insurance and the PUA? Well, it's essentially the same process as before, except it's a lot more frustrating because the system is just absolutely overwhelmed and it's very hard to get through. I read in one newspaper report that there's a 16,000% increase in applications in New York State. But you still file either online or by phone. The day you file is determined by the first letter of your last name. Anecdotally, I've been told it's better to apply online and using the Internet Explorer browser rather than Chrome or Safari. It's also, if you're going to make a phone call, it's better to call later in the day. New York State has extended the telephone hours for phone calls. For those receiving a W-2 tax form, the process should be relatively fast because many of the fields will be automatically populated, and it might take about 10 minutes, but for others it will take longer. And some people, especially the self-employed, even if they apply online, may be required to talk to a representative by phone. So be patient. If you're applying for the first time, you'll need some of the following information, but not necessarily all. It's better to be prepared. And as I said, sometimes when you start entering the fields like your name and your employer, a lot of the fields will automatically be populated and reduce the time it takes you to fill out the application. So to summarize, you will receive your PUA $600 if you're eligible. Basically, you apply for the New York State unemployment benefits, and if you're approved, you should automatically get the $600. If you're already receiving the New York State unemployment benefits, it should be the PUA should be added when you recertify. And if you apply for the New York State benefits but are not eligible for New York State benefits, again, say if you're a 1099 or self-employed worker, New York State should automatically determine if you are eligible for PUA. This flow chart depicts the application process and can be found at the New York State Labor Department unemployment website. If you had been receiving unemployment benefits, but you already exhausted the 26 weeks after July 1st, 2019, you can still apply for the additional 13 weeks maximum extension of the $600 PUA benefits. I'm not sure if the website is automatically set up for taking that application. You may have to call. And what if you are denied benefits? If you are denied New York State unemployment, you will receive a letter of determination stating the reasons why. Then you have about 30 days, depending upon whether the denial was postmarked or how it was delivered, to request an administrative hearing, which you can do online or by mail. However, if the system is already overwhelmed just by the basic applications, I'm not sure how they're managing appeals at this point. And I do not know if New York State is going to have a separate appeal process if they deny you the federal benefits, for example. So there are still lots of unknowns and frustrations. However, the enhanced benefits will be a substantial financial relief for many New Yorkers and everyone who thinks they are eligible. If they may have been affected by COVID-19 in terms of income in any way, shape, or form, they should apply. If you think you've been affected by COVID-19, apply. Now, you can keep up with some of the changes and then as well as the basic rules on the resource page on this last slide. And as I said, if you would like to talk to a NYLAG financial counselor, please contact the organizer of this presentation. Thank you.